Okay, in this video we will do sum and difference of cubes. So these are polynomials consisted of two terms, and it's just sum or difference of cubes, right? So you can have a cubed minus b cubed is being factored as a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. Okay, so for example, if we have to factor x cubed minus 8, then you observe this as x cubed. This exponent here gives you a hint how to observe this polynomial as difference of cubes. And now you're asking yourself, well, 8 is what number to power 3? Oh, that's easy to check. That's 2 to the power of 3 is equal to, so this is the formula for how to factor difference of cubes. And I'll just identify how much is your a and how much is your b. Well, a is your x, right? X cubed, a cubed, minus 2 cubed, and here you have b cubed, so your b is 2. Once you have a and b for this particular problem, just follow this formula. Of course, you'll have to know this formula by heart, but you will use it so much that that's not going to be the problem, right? So we just follow. Open parenthesis, a minus b, our particular a and b are x and 2, so x minus 2 times x squared plus ab x times 2 plus 2 squared. Now, of course, this is just a extra step, a helpful step that I'm not going to ask you to write it down all the time. You can always jump, knowing this formula, you can always jump to the final answer. That's x squared. How do we write? We never write x times 2. We always write it as 2x as a proper polynomial. And finally, we're never going to leave it as 2 squared, but rather 4. Okay? Let's do another example. Let's say x cubed minus 125 y to the power of 9. This is slightly more demanding problem. Again, the question is, how can I observe this as difference of squares? Well, the first term here gives us a hint that maybe difference of squares will work. 125 is 5 cubed. Okay, so that's minus 5 to the power of 3. Okay, 5 times 5, 25, times 1 times 5 is 125, times, this is y to the power of 9, so y to what power? To the power of 3 will give us y to the power of 9. That's y cubed. Okay, y cubed cubed. When the exponent is raised to another exponent, we multiply the exponents. Y cubed to the power of 3 is y to the power of 9. Okay, so let's be careful now identifying how much is a and b so that we can plug it in this formula here. For this case, it's a little bit tricky, so I'm gonna do one more step. This is x cubed minus, now this whole, in order to figure out how much is b, this whole thing has to be raised to the power of 3. Okay, so that means that I have 5 times y cubed, the whole thing to power of 3. These two terms are identical, are equal. Okay, and now your a here is x, similarly as in the first case, but b, be careful, is 5y cubed. Okay, this whole expression here is b. Okay, and now apply the formula. So that's a minus b, x minus 5y cubed times x squared, because it's a squared, plus a times b, that means x times 5y cubed, plus b squared. So plus 5y cubed squared. Again, be careful of the parentheses, okay? And now just make this expression a little bit nicer. How are we going to do that? We always take the constant in front of the variable, so that's 5xy cubed, and here raise the whole thing to power 2, that's 25. Y cubed squared, it's how much? So 5 squared is 25, y cubed squared, on the side I'm going to write it here. When an exponent is raised to another exponent, we just multiply the exponent, so that's y to the power of 6. Y to the power of 6, okay? Now, if we have to solve an equation, let's say 3x to the power of 5 is equal to 24x squared. Okay, so here I have 3x to the power of 5, bring this on this side, minus 24x to the power of 2 is equal to 0. Okay, now always remember that first we have to factor out the common factors. So what is going to be the common factor? The constant 3 is common factor, so I can factor out that one because 3 is divisible by 3 and 24 is divisible by 3. And now I have x squared as the greatest common factor, so I also factor out x squared. What do I have in parentheses? So with what do I have to multiply x squared to get x to the power of 5? Well, that's x cubed times x to the power of 2 is x to the power of 5, minus, with what do I have to multiply 3x squared to get 24x squared? So because x squared is the same as this one, I'm not going to have a variable here, but rather I just have to multiply this by 8, because 8 times 3 is 24. So 3x squared times 8 is 24x squared. Okay, is equal to 0. So now, when you have a product of factors is equal to 0, then either one of them can be 0 if possible, right? But be careful, now 3 is not 0. Okay, so our only options is either x squared is 0 or x cubed minus 8 is 0. Now x squared is equal to 0. What number by itself is 0? Well, that's just the number 0, and you get the first solution. You get the first answer. Now x cubed minus 8 is equal to 0. I'll proceed solving this example by factoring, and I'll already factor that in our first example here. And we got x minus 2 times x squared plus 2x plus 4 is equal to 0. And now again, I have product of two factors equal to 0. Either x minus 2 is equal to 0, this factor, right? Bringing 2 on this side, I get x is equal to 2, our second solution. Or x squared plus 2x plus 4 is equal to 0. Now this second factor, whenever we're factoring difference of cubes, this second factor, right? This factor right here will not be 0, okay? Cannot be 0. So this cannot produce a 0. For any x, this never can be 0. The second factor when you factor difference of cubes. So this equation here has only two solutions, x is equal to 0 and x is equal to 2. Okay? So far what do we have? We have a difference of squares. A squared minus b squared is equal to a minus b times a plus b. We get difference of cubes. A cubed minus b cubed is equal to a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. We said that a squared plus b squared cannot be factored, but be careful now, a cubed plus b cubed can be factored, and that is equal to a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared. Okay, so be careful of the difference between sum and difference of cubes. These are the two formulas that we're learning today. So a cubed plus b cubed is equal to a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared. Okay, so for example, if I need to factor y cubed plus 1000, okay, that's equal to y cubed plus 10 to the power of 3. So using this formula right here, that's y plus 10 times y squared minus 10y plus 10 squared, or 10 squared is 100. Or I don't know, 8 to find another example. A plus 2 cubed plus a minus 2 cubed. Okay, let me just, so these are not going to be confused. Let's put here x instead of a. Okay, so now the whole factor here is x plus 2. So your a is x plus 2, right? The whole factor x plus 2 is raised to power 3. So a is x plus 2, and by the same logic, b is equal to x minus 2. So let's see how this is going to play out. So that's equal to a plus b by this formula. So that's x plus 2 plus x minus 2, right? Or in other words, this is your a plus b from the formula times, now we have a squared, that's x plus 2 squared, minus a times b, x plus 2 times x minus 2, plus x minus 2 squared. Right? So this stands for a squared minus this part here is a times b plus b squared. Okay, and now I just need to simplify this expression a little bit. First of all, cancel positive 2 and negative 2. X plus x is 2x. And here, what do I have? I have x plus 2 squared is x squared plus 4x plus 4. This expression is just x plus 2 squared minus, I'm not going to FOIL this because I know that this is difference of squares, so this is x squared minus 4. Again, be very careful. If you leave it like this, your solution is going to be wrong because of the negative sign in front. So don't be lazy and always use parentheses. Plus x minus 2 squared is x squared minus 4x plus 4. Okay, we're one more step away. So x squared plus 4x plus 4. Now drop these parentheses. Minus x squared plus 4 plus x squared minus 4x plus 4. And now let us see what we're left with. X squared minus x squared, they cancel out. 4x minus 4x, they cancel out. and we're left with 4 plus 4 plus 4, that's 12, and here we have plus x squared. So this is 2x times x squared plus 12. 4 plus 4 plus 4 is 12, and here I have x squared, so x squared plus 12.